you may want to really have short up on some of these college cards because you're not going to get any releases for such a long time. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 7 of MeelyStox. We are part of the SlabStox network and a combination between SlabStox and Mealy Pop shop here in Gainesville, Florida. My name is Jamil. I'm the shop owner of the local card shop here in Gainesville, Florida, North Florida. If you ever come down to Florida, come visit. But we're going to get into episode 7 here in just a moment. Before we get going, some things going on with our shop. Just going to give you a heads up. Do follow our Instagram if you do get a chance. We always have stuff going on with our Instagram, and I want to pull up something that's really unique that we're doing next Monday, so November 2nd, the day before Election Day. Check this out. We have something called Mealy Pops Chats on Instagram. We're going to do it on the live, and I'll be talking with Sean Kelly. If you don't know Sean Kelly, he's a young guy who just loves sports cards, and he's the founder of Jersey Champs. If you ever buy a jersey from them online, we're going to do like an hour live and just talk about business, sports cards, breaks. We're going to give away some stuff. We might even have time for a Q&A. So if you get a chance, I'd love for you to come out, check it out on Instagram Live. Shop Mealy Pops is our handle, or you can follow on Jersey Champs. But let's get started into this episode this week, 2020 to 21 basketball wax. So as many of you know, there was something here that we've never ever had in the NBA. It's called the bubble. And we saw some crazy stuff in the bubble. We saw players come out of nowhere, right? You had the TJ Warrens and the Michael Porter Jr.'s, Gary Trent Jr.'s come out of nowhere. You see their rookie cards go up, and we saw the drops, unfortunately, in some cards, such as Kawhi 2012 Prizms, 17, 18 Tatum Prizms, because as these guys went farther in the tournament and they lost, then they dropped out of the playoffs. So I said tournament because I'm talking about college basketball, but it was the NBA playoffs. It was a little different, right? Luka hits this shot against the Clippers. Wild scenario there. And just kind of a crazy time with basketball. And then who could forget, let me make sure we all see it on screen, this guy, and him getting his ring, his championship with his third franchise, which is quite impressive. LeBron kind of looks like a mix between the Santa Claus and the Grinch in that picture, and J.R. Smith doesn't have his shirt on, but that's nothing new. The Lakers won, and we had a great time with the bubble. I'm so thankful. A lot of people were thankful that there was the NBA. NBA was about to finish. They did an awesome job in Orlando. But before we get going and talking about 2021 basketball and really getting into this, I think we need to talk a little bit about what's still to come. I don't know if you know, but 1920 basketball is not done. Although the season is finished, we still have Clearly Donruss next week, which is going to be an acetate-based product. We will have 1920 Immaculate Basketball, which I know many of you love Immaculate Basketball. I don't know if many people have thought about it, but the first Zion Logo Man, true Logo Man, will probably be pulled on that because the National Treasures Logo Man, the 101, never got pulled. We will have also Panini's take on Panini 1, what they did with football. We're going to have one-on-one basketball. And then Hoops Premium Stock, and I believe the last release of 1920 will be Flawless. So there still is, 5 releases still to come for basketball for 1920. So we're not done yet. But as I say that, just last week we had our first release of 2021 basketball. And that brings us to really a whole new kind of metric, a whole new dynamic. And for the shop, kind of some things I've been seeing with it I want to share with you guys. So we get into what is called Contenders Basketball. So let's put that on the screen for you here. Contenders Basketball 2021. Bring it a little bigger. So we have, as you can see, Wiseman's on there, Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Denny. I always want to say his name wrong, but Danny Avdija from Israel. Maccabees? What is it? I think the team out there. Tel Aviv, right? Maccabees, Tel Aviv. So we have all these young new talents coming in the NBA, right? We have the draft that still hasn't happened yet. That will be November, I think it's November 6th or something like that. Let me look at my notes here. That's coming up. November 18th, sorry. November 18th we'll have the draft. But what's going on with the new prospects? You know, who's going to be drafted number 1? LaMelo Ball, Denny. Is it going to be Anthony Edwards? You hear these names like James Wiseman, Obi Toppin, Neesmith, Vassell, Maxey, RJ Hampton. All these different names coming to the NBA. And for me, I love basketball. I know many of you love basketball. You probably made a lot of money on basketball. You probably improved your collections on basketball because of how it's just blown up in the last couple years. But this year, it's very, 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 very different. And I say that because we don't have the hype like we normally do, right? We don't have the hype of last year with Zion and Ja, although the year before that with Luka and Trey was not as big. But we don't have this massive, massive hype. I remember last year this time, opening Contenders boxes, hitting a Zion auto, and people just losing their minds. I think you remember seeing stuff hit the internet, seeing how expensive those first autos were that came out of Contenders. And if you think just to what happened now, let me see if I can pull that up here for you guys to see. But on eBay, the highest sold, this is all I'm seeing, is LaMelo Ball. His kind of gold vinyl 101, 4,200, 4,500. You have one right there with an Abdija. I think that's a final staking out of 5. And there's another LaMelo Ball. But this is the highest sorted stuff. Cracked Ice Anthony Edwards at $12.99. But this is the highest price stuff that's sold, and the product's been out now, because I'm recording this on Monday, for 3-4 days. So it's something to think about, as we kind of move forward with wax and we think about basketball. I mean, it's been anticipated. Many people, were expecting to see lower prices. But we're going to have much more affordable basketball cards to be bought. The cool thing for me is that with these Contenders releases and Prizm, which will be coming out very soon, draft picks, not basketball NBA, but we are seeing affordable basketball again, right? We're seeing affordable prices with basketball. You're going to get veteran players cards. You're also going to get second year, so you're going to get the Jaws. You're going to get the Zions. You're going to get the RJ Barretts. You get Kobe White's, the second year cards, which will be really cool. And I think, with basketball, as we kind of transcend into this next draft class, there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknowns. Who gets drafted like number one? Who's going to be the rookie of the year? Who's going to go to the Warriors? So there's a lot of things that I think will be very interesting to kind of pan out. And that could be to your advantage as you look to buy basketball cards at an affordable rate before the draft. You want to talk about prospecting and you want to talk about, really making it on somebody. This is the time to do that if that's and that's the fun about cards, right? You can buy really low on somebody and maybe they pan out and become a Donovan Mitchell, or maybe they don't, and they're in the G League, in 8 months. But just something to think about. I mean, not to say the G League's a bad thing, because you could always, stick around and come back 2, 3, 4 years later. But just something to think about with this. Contenders Basketball is out. 2021 basketball has started. We will have, let me pull the graphic up as well here. We will have the 2021 draft picks as well, which is another interesting product that came out first time ever last year. So 2021 Prizm draft picks will be out. I believe it'll be out November 4th. That might have been where I have my dates right. Yeah, November 4th it'll be out. This will be the second year that Panini Prizm will be coming out. And I want you to think about this, because the next slide I'm going to show you I think is very telling. So remember, Prizm, P-R-I-Z-M, right? November 4th. Well, check it out here in the middle of the screen. You're not going to have Prizm NBA for not 2, not 3, not 4. I sound like LeBron giving his promise. But 5 months before we get to NBA Prizm. So that's something really to consider moving forward as we think about the 2021 draft products. I'm thinking that 2020 will really be heavy when it comes to college basketball products. So from now until the end of the year, when it comes to basketball wax, you're going to be collecting college basketball. You're not going to have NBA basketball until 2021. So for the rest of 2020, you're going to be stuck with it. Now, there might be a National Treasures release or an Immaculate release with Collegiate, kind of like Panini did last year with the online. I could probably see that coming. But for NBA cards, right, with the new rookies and their NBA jerseys, it's not going to come out till January right now, planned for Hoops 2021. Now, let's see what Panini does, because we don't know when basketball starts. We don't know how that's all going to pan out. But it's just something to really kind of, sink your teeth into when it comes to basketball cards, holding the basketball cards, grading basketball cards. Will the college cards have more of a prevalence, because this will be the only cards you can have up until January of 2021? So these are some things to consider as you move forward that have not been the same patterns as we've seen in the years before. This is just something else that I think look at. You have Hoops coming out in January. This is all planned and tentative. Certified Donruss Revolution in February with Absolute, and then Prizm not till March 3rd. So, plan accordingly. Think about this with these new guys. When the NBA starts, let's say it does start in the mid-December, or even early January, you may want to really have short up on some of these college cards, because you're not going to get any releases for such a long time. So that's just kind of some thoughts I had regarding wax in 2021 basketball. The prevalence of these college jersey basketball cards will be around for some time. And because there's no massive hype like Zion, there will be some affordability to it. And that's a good thing, right? I think that's a good thing that we have affordability to basketball cards once again. I know sometimes this year, as I've dealt with basketball cards selling in the shop, I felt really guilty because I've had to buy it for so expensive. I can't sell the cards for anything but outrageous prices. Especially in the secondary market, rebuying this stuff has been nuts. And the other thing I'd call your attention to is November 18th. Check out the draft. Make sure you're watching. Make sure you're paying attention. See what's gonna come out. It'll be very interesting to see, who goes where. Are there going to be some trades? What happens with the Warriors at the second pick? I think that's where they have, right? Are they going to trade? Could one of the major megastars get moved around in the NBA before the draft or during the draft? These are all things to really consider. So I'm excited for basketball. I think it's going to be good. How is LaMelo Ball going to look? How is Edwards going to look? Avdija, is he going to become another international prospect? Is the entire Middle East going to congregate around this guy from Israel? It's going to be very interesting to see, and maybe not the entire Middle East, but it'll be a very interesting thing to see as we go forward in basketball. And the international rise of basketball has just been an incredible thing for the past couple years, for basketball cards. Just a couple more thoughts. NFL has Phoenix being released this week. XR was released on Friday, and we'll see the growth in football as we lead up to Prizm. That's coming up very soon. And I think football is in a very strong place. Check out Tua, how he does against the Chargers this week. The Rams this week on Sunday. Because if he has a good game, if you think football boxes are high now, Herbert, Burrow, and Tua being dominant players in the NFL as quite the quarterback position, all rookies, product is going to skyrocket. So it may be smart to start prospecting on some wax. It may be smart to buy some wax right now. Maybe getting into some of the rated rookies like Donruss products, or just buying some product to hold on to, because just watch out. Just watch out is what I'll have to say with Tua. And it's exciting for me in the home state of Florida that we have another guy with Tommy Time. I don't know about Gardner, how that's going to pan out, but we'll see what's going to go on with football as we move forward. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 7 of MeelyStox. We're going to be doing these each week on Wednesday. Check us out. Subscribe to Slapstock. Subscribe to the Mealy Pop Shop. We appreciate you, and I will see you all next week. See ya.